Welcome to Dark Feed, where once you find the feed, it finds you. Part 1. The Highway Screamer. I've been driving trucks for 20 years. Cross-country hauls, short-range routes, overnights, you name it, I've done it. You see a lot out on the road. Beautiful things, weird things, dark things. But there's only one thing that ever made me want to quit for good. It happened 3 years ago, somewhere in Utah. I don't remember the exact highway, but it was one of those long, flat stretches where the towns disappear and the only company you have is your own reflection in the windshield. No gas stations for miles. No lights. Just black road and sky. I had picked up a refrigerated load in Reno and was headed to Denver. It was around 2:45 a.m. I'd been on the road since about 8 the night before. Just me, the hum of the engine, and static on the CB. I don't usually drive past midnight, but I had a schedule to keep, and honestly, I like the solitude sometimes. It's quiet out there when most people are asleep. But that night, something felt wrong. It started with the radio. I had it on a local station just to break the silence. Old country music, mostly George Jones, Waylon Jennings, that kind of thing. But around 2:50, the music cut out. No static, no fade out. Just gone. Then, after a few seconds, there was this sound. It wasn't music. It wasn't speech. It was breathing. Heavy, wet, like someone was standing too close to the mic, exhaling slowly and deliberately. And it went on for about a minute. No change. No words. Just breathing. Then the signal died. I turned it off and kept going, figuring it was just a busted transmitter or some interference. Happens all the time out west. But the air in the cab felt heavier, like pressure had changed, like something was listening. At exactly 3 a.m., I saw the lights. Pair of headlights behind me. Not unusual, right? Except I hadn't seen another car in over an hour. And these lights, they came out of nowhere. No gradual approach, no rise on the horizon. Just there. Bright, close, too close. Like the vehicle had appeared out of thin air. I checked my mirrors. Couldn't see the make. Just white lights low to the ground. No blue or red tint, so not a cop. I slowed slightly, figuring maybe they wanted to pass. They didn't. They just stayed behind me, maybe 15 feet back. Tailgating at 60 miles per hour. No horn. No movement. I radioed out on the CB. You're real close back there, buddy. Either pass or back off. No response. I tried again. Still nothing. So I sped up. 10 over the limit. Then 15. Still there. Same distance. Still blinding. I was starting to get pissed. Tailgaters are dangerous, especially at night. So I flipped the switch that dims the rearview lights. Didn't help much. Then I saw it. Whatever vehicle it was, it didn't have a driver. Or at least I couldn't see one. Now I get that sounds insane. Maybe the angle was wrong. Maybe my mirrors caught a glare. But I swear to God, the cabin of that vehicle was pitch black. No outline, no movement, nothing but emptiness behind that glass. Then, in the blink of an eye, the lights vanished. I don't mean they turned off. I mean they were just gone.
No swerving. No braking.
No pulling off. 1 second they were there, the next, nothing. I slammed my brakes and came to a full stop in the middle of the road. Silence. No lights behind me. No engine noise. Just the night stretched out forever. I sat there, heart pounding, breathing heavy, staring into the mirrors, waiting for those lights to come back. They didn't. I figured maybe I was overtired. Seen enough weird stuff on no sleep that your brain fills in the blanks. So I pulled over at the next dirt turnout, just a little gravel patch at the edge of the desert, and decided to take a break. I climbed into the sleeper and tried to rest, but sleep wouldn't come. My ears were ringing. My skin was buzzing. And then I heard it. First, it sounded like wind, but it was rhythmic, measured, breathing, not from inside the cab, outside, right next to the passenger door. I froze, didn't move. Didn't breathe. I just listened. One breath, then another, deep, ragged, like someone with fluid in their lungs. I sat up slowly, trying not to make a sound. Reached for my flashlight. Then it started tapping. Something began tapping on the door. Light at first, then more deliberate, like nails. Not fingers, nails. I risked a glance through the curtain. Nothing, just darkness. Then I saw it. A face, pressed against the glass. Not looking in, just there. White skin, no expression, eyes wide open, and a mouth that didn't move. But I swear I could still hear it breathing. I didn't scream, couldn't. I grabbed my flashlight and flung the door open. Nothing, just empty desert.
No footprints. No dust.
No vehicle, just silence and a feeling like I was being watched from everywhere at once. I slammed the door and started the engine. Didn't care if I was breaking logbook hours. I drove until the sun came up. Didn't stop. Didn't look back. Didn't talk about it until now. I took a different route to Denver that week. Haven't been back on that stretch of road since. But I think about it a lot, especially around 3 a.m., especially when I pass an empty turnout or a dark patch of desert, because I still don't know what I saw. I've told myself it was exhaustion, that my mind made it all up, that there's nothing out there but asphalt and coyotes. But then I remember the radio, that breathing, those lights, and that face, and I wonder, what if something waits out there on purpose? What if it knows the highways better than we do? What if it only shows itself when it's sure we're alone? I've driven millions of miles, seen all kinds of strange things, but nothing, not even death, scares me like the thing I met on that road at 3 a.m. I still hear it sometimes, when I'm parked in a rest stop, when the cab gets too quiet, a sound in the night, just breathing. Part 2, the stolen stream. I used to stream late at night, horror games mostly, nothing big, just me, a mic, a webcam, and whatever free indie nightmare I could find on itch.io. It started as a side hobby. I wasn't trying to go viral, just wanted to see if anyone out there would hang out with me during the weird hours. I'd usually go live around 2:30 a.m. I liked that time. Fewer people meant less pressure. Some regulars would pop in, chat about their lives, drop a few donos. Felt low stakes. But then I started streaming at exactly 3 a.m. just to play into the trend. You know, I streamed a cursed game at 3 a.m. and this happened. All that nonsense. Clickbait titles, scary thumbnails. I didn't really believe in that stuff. I just thought it was fun. First it was, then it wasn't. My name's Matt, and I swear to you this is real. I know how it sounds. Believe me, I do. If I were you, I'd probably think it was just a creepypasta. But this happened. And if it can happen to me, it can happen to anyone with a webcam and an internet connection. Started about 6 months ago. I was streaming a low-poly PS1 style horror game called Hollowed. Just walking around pixelated hallways, getting chased by faceless mannequins. It wasn't scary, really, but the chat was active. People were joking around, egging me on. At around 3:21 a.m., I beat the game, rolled credits, signed off, said goodnight to chat, ended the stream, and went to bed. Next day, I logged on to check the VOD. I always review my streams, just to see what landed, what didn't. Helps me improve. But this time, something was off. At the 2 hours, 7 minutes, and 31 seconds mark, right when I'm turning a corner in the game, I noticed something in the corner of my face cam. Movement. Behind me. I paused the video and rewound. There it was again. Just a flicker. A shadow. Right behind my chair. It moved from right to left. Too fast to make out, but definitely human-shaped. I live alone. I thought maybe it was a glitch. Compression artifact. Something weird with the encoding. Happens sometimes, especially with older games that have high contrast visuals. I let it go. But then it happened again. Next stream, new game, different timestamp.
3:04 nachts.
I was playing Darkwell Sanatorium, this grainy little pixel horror thing where you explore an abandoned asylum. About halfway through, I'm reading an in-game document, and something moves in the background again. I didn't notice it live, only in the VOD, and this time it was clearer. Person, pale face, sunken eyes, standing behind me in the dark, watching. I never saw them walk in, never heard a door. They just appeared. I paused the video, heart racing. There was no one in my apartment. There shouldn't have been. I'd locked the doors, checked twice before going live. I even lived on the 5th floor. No fire escape, no way to sneak in. But there they were, staring. I screen recorded the clip and sent it to my friend Kyle. He thought I'd edited it, said it looked too clean. I hadn't. Next stream, I was paranoid. Turned on every light in the apartment, triple-checked the doors, even aimed a second webcam behind me just to be sure. Nothing happened, but the VOD, different story. At 3:17 a.m., the second webcam, the one aimed behind me, froze for exactly 6 seconds. No audio drop, no lag, just that one cam. When it unfroze, the door behind me was open, just a crack. I didn't notice it on stream, didn't remember it happening, but there it was, plain as day. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept the lights on, sat on the couch with a baseball bat, watching the live security cam feed on my phone. Nothing, dead silent, no movement, no faces, just still frames of my apartment, dark and boring. I told myself I was losing it, that I was reading too much into it, that maybe the webcam had glitched, and I just thought I saw the door open. But then I got an email. No subject line, no body text, just a link. I knew I shouldn't click it, but I did. It led to a live stream, not on Twitch, not on YouTube. The interface was bare, black screen.
No username. No chat.
Just a player window, and it was me, streaming, right then. Same clothes, same room, same angle, but I wasn't live. I checked Twitch. My stream was offline. OBS was closed. Everything was off. But this stream, this mirror, was playing live footage of me. And it was wrong. I was smiling, staring directly into the camera. But I wasn't smiling in real life. I was frozen, mouth dry, eyes locked on my screen. On the stream, the other me raised a hand and waved. I didn't move. Then he stood up and walked out of frame. In real life, I sat there, not blinking, heart slamming against my ribs. On the screen, the camera stayed focused on the empty chair. Then, after about 30 seconds, the me in the video walked back in, and something else followed him. It didn't look human, not quite. Tall, long arms, head tilted at an unnatural angle, like it didn't know how to wear its own body. It stopped just behind the other me, and they both stared into the camera. I slammed my laptop shut, didn't sleep, didn't eat, didn't stream for a week. But the emails kept coming. Every night, same format, different links. Each one led to a new video. Sometimes they were old streams, ones I knew I had deleted, but they were altered. Words changed, movements different, and always that same figure in the background, watching, waiting. I tried showing Kyle again. He didn't believe me, said I must have installed some malware, that someone was deepfaking my footage. He even joked that it was some ARG I forgot I started. It wasn't, because then he got the emails too. And when he clicked the links, the streams showed himself, sitting at his desk, not live, not recorded, just watching. I asked him to show me. He refused, said he deleted them all, said he wasn't sleeping anymore, said sometimes, when he turned off his monitor, he'd see a face in the reflection that wasn't his. That was 3 months ago. He stopped answering my texts last week. His phone goes straight to voicemail. I drove to his place, knocked.
Rang.
Nothing. No answer. No signs of forced entry. Just silence. His blinds were drawn. The door was locked, but when I checked his Twitch, he was live, streaming. And the title? Just one word. Reflected. I didn't click it. Couldn't. I packed up my gear, disconnected everything, covered my webcams, disabled my accounts. But the videos still come. They don't stop. They show me doing things I've never done, going places I've never been. Sometimes I see people I've never met standing in my kitchen. And sometimes I see myself asleep in bed, even though I know I'm awake. I don't know what it is. A virus? A curse? Some digital infection that spreads through screens? I don't know what it wants, but I know this. If you stream after 3 a.m., be careful. Someone might be watching, and if they watch long enough, they might decide to show you what they see. And it won't be you. Not really. Part 3. The Boy from Floor 6. I work security overnight at a residential high-rise downtown. It's not the worst job. Quiet most nights. Sit behind a desk, watch a few monitors, log routine checks. 12 floors. 1 elevator. 1 emergency staircase. No basement access. All tenants registered. Simple layout. Shift runs from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. But it's what happens at 3 a.m. that I need to tell you about. And what happened to me 2 weeks ago changed the way I see this building, and maybe the world around us, forever. Let me start with something weird. The building technically only has 12 floors. But if you look closely, there's a key slot on the elevator panel between buttons 5 and 6. No label. No digital indicator. Just a small vertical slit. No key provided. I'd worked here for over 2 years and never noticed it. Not until that night. It was around 2:50 a.m. when I saw it. I was doing rounds on the 5th floor, checking an issue with a fire alarm that had gone off earlier in the night. False alarm. Burnt toast, according to the tenant. As I got back in the elevator, I leaned in to press lobby, and there it was. A little gleam of metal right between the 5 and 6 buttons, almost hidden in the brushed steel. At first, I thought it was for maintenance. Made a mental note to ask building management. But as the elevator descended, it stopped. Not at the lobby. Not at 5. At a floor with no number. The panel stayed blank. No light.
Nothing.
Just the doors sliding open silently to a dimly lit hallway that shouldn't have existed. I stood frozen, one hand on my radio, the other on the door. The hallway looked old, like it hadn't been touched in years. Brown carpet, yellowed wallpaper, lights buzzing faintly overhead, a sickly smell, mildew and something metallic, like rust or old blood, drifted in. And then, the soft sound of a child humming, coming from around the corner. I hit closed doors immediately, punched the button for the lobby. The elevator didn't move. It just sat there, doors open, like it was waiting. I stepped back, staying in the center of the cab, heart pounding in my ears. The humming got louder. I didn't step out. I didn't breathe. And then, just before I reached for my flashlight, the doors closed on their own. The elevator descended to the lobby like nothing happened. I stood there for a full minute before stepping out. Nothing looked different. The monitors hadn't flickered. The cameras didn't show a new floor. Everything was normal. I told myself I imagined it. That maybe I dozed off for a second. A waking dream, that's all. Until the next night. Same time, 3:01 a.m. Elevator stopped again. Same floor, same blank panel, same hallway, but this time someone was waiting. A small figure, in the middle of the hallway. A boy, maybe 7 or 8, wearing faded pajamas, barefoot. He didn't speak, didn't move, just stared into the elevator. His face was wrong, not deformed, just blurry, like a photo that hadn't fully loaded. His features shimmered slightly, like heat waves on asphalt. And his eyes, God, his eyes, too big, too dark, they didn't blink. I slammed the closed door button over and over. Nothing. Then, without warning, the elevator slammed shut and dropped. So fast my stomach lurched into my throat. It slammed to a stop at the lobby with a jolt so hard I nearly fell. The doors opened. No one there. I ran outside, sat on the curb for 20 minutes trying to calm down. I told my supervisor the next morning. He laughed, said I needed sleep, that the building had no hidden floors, that the panel had no keyhole. I took photos, showed him, but the photo on my phone?
No que yo le.
Just smooth steel between 5 and 6. He thought I was screwing with him. I wasn't. The next night, I tried something. At 2:55 a.m., I rode the elevator with a camera, set it up in the corner, facing out. 3:01, the elevator stopped again. Doors opened. Same hallway, same mildew smell, but no boy, just the hum of flickering lights. I didn't step out. Instead, I let the camera record for exactly 1 minute. Then I hit the button for the lobby. This time it worked. I rushed to the desk and pulled the footage. First, it looked normal. Then, frame by frame, I watched. The hallway behind the doors flickered. Every few seconds, the boy appeared, closer each time. First standing at the far end, then halfway, then right at the edge of the elevator. And then one single frame where he stood inside the elevator, facing the camera. Eyes black, mouth open, empty, and behind him something taller. Shadow stretched across the hallway, like a puppet master just out of view. The next frame, nothing. He was gone. I deleted the footage, or tried to. Every time I erased the file, it came back. Renamed. Time-stamped exactly 3 hours, 1 minute, and 6 seconds. I unplugged the camera, threw it out, but the footage kept returning to my desktop. Even on different computers, even after factory resets, always the same file, always that timestamp. And every time I played it, the boy was closer. First outside the elevator, then inside, then in my chair behind me, in the reflection of the monitor. I started leaving the building before 3 a.m., abandoned the night shift, told management I was done. They didn't ask questions. They never do, but that's not the end. Last night, I passed by the building on my way home. Lights were off. Elevator sat still behind the glass. But as I walked by, every floor lit up in sequence. 1 through 5, then a pause, then no number, just a blank panel lit up. And in the top floor window, I saw him, the boy, watching, waiting. And now, I see him everywhere, reflected in dark windows, in turned-off TV screens, in elevator doors. At 3:01 a.m., I stop whatever I'm doing and sit perfectly still. Because if I move, I think I'll find myself somewhere else entirely, and I don't think I'd ever come back.